Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive.
Hello.
Now, if you're tuning in right now, there is a very good chance you have a syllabus in front of you. Specifically, the syllabus for COM 109, Introduction to Film at Union College of Union County, New Jersey.
That's the one.
So a massive welcome to Professor Eulo's students. We are really honored to be your audio guides for this semester.
It is a pleasure to be here. You can think of this as your companion piece to the week one lecture. We are diving into chapter 1. Analyzing movies.
Exactly. And just to set the stage for you, your assignment this week is to watch Casablanca.
The classic.
You know, the 1942 classic, Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman.
Here's looking at you, kid.
That's the one. It's really the ultimate Hollywood narrative. But the goal of this conversation, it isn't just to talk about the plot of Casablanca.
Don't.
It's to figure out how to watch it and other films without just, turning your brain off.
And that really is the core challenge of this entire course, isn't it?
Yeah.
We need to move you from being a fan to being a critic.
And when you say critic, you don't mean someone who just complains online.
No, not at all. I mean someone who understands the machinery. Someone who sees how the thing is built.
Okay, so let's start with the hook. Let's call it the thumbs up, thumbs down trap.
We all fall into it.
We all do this. You walk out of a movie theater, or you finish a binge watch on Netflix, and your friend asks, "How was it?" And what's the first thing you say?
I loved it. Or, it sucked.
Exactly. It's binary.
Precisely. And that is the default mode of consumption. It is purely subjective. It's all about personal validation. If I tell you to watch a movie because I think it's brilliant,
Yeah.
and you come back and tell me it was boring,
Yeah.
I feel, on some level, personally attacked.
Oh, absolutely. I feel rejected.
Yeah.
It's weirdly personal, isn't it? Like, if you insult my favorite movie, you're kind of insulting my soul.
Because you've identified with it.
Yeah.
But in this course, and this deep dive, we have a different mission.
And a new question.
A new question. We want to stop asking, did I like it? And start asking a much more interesting question.
Which is,
How did the filmmaker make me feel this way?
that is the shift. Right there. We're looking for the strings behind the curtain.
Because if you felt sad, or if you felt scared or excited, that wasn't an accident.
Yeah.
That was a calculated design choice.
Every single frame of Casablanca, then. Every lighting choice, every cut, every single sound effect.
It was all decided by a human being, or a team of human beings, with the specific intention of manipulating your biology and your psychology.
I love that word, manipulate. It sounds so nefarious, but in film, it's actually kind of magical.
It is.
We want to give you X-ray vision. That's the goal. We want to dismantle the magic trick so you can see how the rabbit got into the hat.
And here's the best part. Knowing how the trick works doesn't ruin it. Not at all.
It makes you respect the magician even more.
Exactly. So we have a lot to cover today. We're going to map out the biology of why we even see movement in the first place. We're going to look at the psychology of the spectator. We'll talk about films that, fight back, and then we'll open up the toolkit of formal analysis with some heavy hitters.
Like the 400 blows.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're starting with the biology and the history. Now, I think most people, if you ask them when movies started, they'll say, what? I don't know, Thomas Edison? The 1890s?
And, well, technologically, they would be right.
But that's just the tech.
That's just the tech, the impulse, the desire to create and see moving images. That is as old as humanity itself. We have to go back.
How far back?
About 30,000 years.
Wow. Okay, we're going to the caves.
We are going to the caves at Chauvet and Lascaux in France. Now, when you see pictures of these cave paintings, in a textbook, they look like static stick figures of animals.
Right. Bison, lions, horses. They look flat.
They look like old graffiti.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that is because we are looking at them under flat electric museum lights. That is not how they were designed to be viewed.
The artist is Chauvet, for example. They drew these animals with multiple legs, or with heads superimposed over other heads. If you look at it in static light, it just looks messy. It looks like a blur.
But they weren't painting for museum lights. They were painting for torchlight.
Exactly. So imagine you're deep underground. It is pitch black. You light a torch. What does the flame do?
It flickers. It pulses.
It pulses. And as the shadows dance across those uneven rock walls, those messy, overlapping legs suddenly appear to churn. The lion appears to run. The bison lowers his head to charge.
It's basically a prehistoric GIF.
It's a simulation. It is the first cinema. Think about it. It's a communal experience. In the dark, watching a story about life and death unfold through moving images.
Wow.
The only difference between that cave and the movie theater you sit in today is the technology of the projector. The human desire is exactly the same.
That is mind-blowing. So the hardware just had to catch up to the impulse.
Pretty much.
The notes mention the magic lantern in the 18th century. That sounds like something out of, I don't know, Harry Potter?
Well, it sort of bridges the gap between science and the supernatural. The magic lantern was a primitive projector. It used a candle and a lens. They would paint these images on glass slides.
What kind of images?
Well, the operators, the showmen, they often used them to project ghosts, skeletons, and demons onto smoke or walls.
So the very first movies were horror movies.
Fear is a very, very effective way to capture an audience's attention. But these were still, static images sliding past each other. We don't get true attempts at mechanical motion until the 19th century.
With the motion toys.
Yes.
Okay, we need a vocabulary check here because these names are incredible tongue twisters. The thaumatrope.
The thaumatrope. It means wonder turner. It's the simplest one. Imagine a little cardboard disc. On one side, you draw a bird. On the other side, you draw a cage. You attach strings to the sides, and you spin it really, really fast.
And suddenly the bird is in the cage.
Your eye merges the two separate images into one. Then you have things like the cinekistoscope and the zoetrope.
The zoetrope is the one that looks kind of like a salad spinner, right? A big drum.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
A cylinder with vertical slots cut into the sides. You put a strip of drawings inside. Maybe it's a horse galloping, and you spin the cylinder. When you look through those slots, the horse runs.
But here's where it gets so interesting. The horse isn't running.
Yep.
The bird isn't in the cage. These are just static drawings. Why are our brains so easily fooled?
This brings us to what the chapter calls the lie of the eye. Cinema is, at its core, a biological hack. It exploits two specific glitches in the human visual system.
Okay.
The first one is called persistence of vision.
All right, break that down for us.
This is a physiological thing. It happens in the retina of your eye. When an image hits your retina, the chemical reaction, it lingers for a fraction of a second after the image is gone.
We've all seen this, right? With a sparkler on the 4th of July.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
You wave the sparkler and you see a trail of light. You can write your name in the air.
But it's not a line of light, it's just one point moving really fast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The sparkler is just a point of light. But your eye holds on to the previous position while the new position registers. In film, this means that when one frame leaves the screen and there's a split second of darkness before the next frame.
Your eye holds on to the first image. It bridges the gap.
It bridges the gap, so we aren't seeing the black space between frames. We're just seeing a continuous stream of light.
Okay, so that explains why it's not a flickering mess.
Correct. But persistence of vision only explains why we don't see the darkness. It doesn't explain why we see movement. For that, we need the phi phenomenon.
Which is psychological, not physiological.
Yes, this one happens in the brain. It's also called apparent motion. If I flash a light on the left side of the room, turn it off, and then immediately flashed a different light on the right side.
My brain will tell me the light moved from left to right.
Even though it didn't. It was two different lights.
Why does it do that?
Your brain prefers a logical narrative. It says, well, it is more likely that the object moved than that one object just disappeared and another one appeared out of nowhere.
So it stitches the data together. It fills in the blank.
It does. So movies are basically a cognitive shortcut. We are exploiting the brain's desire to tell a coherent story.
We're showing the brain 24 still photographs every second.
And the brain hallucinates motion. It is a very, very profitable hallucination.
And there's one more term in this section, critical flicker fusion, which sounds like a sci-fi weapon.
It does. It just refers to the speed of the flashing light. If you project light slowly, say 16 frames per second, like in the early silent era, the human eye can detect the pulse. It looks like a strobe light.
Which is why they called them the flicks.
Exactly. Let's go to the flicks. It literally comes from the flicker. Modern sound films standardize at 24 frames per second, which is just fast enough to fool the eye into seeing a solid, continuous beam of light.
I love that. So Netflix literally has the history of 19th century projector technology right there in its name.
It does indeed.
Okay, so we've got the biology down. We're in a dark room. Our eyes are being tricked. Now let's talk about the environment. You mentioned the cave earlier. There is something special about the movie theater itself, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. It's a sacred space.
Sacred? How so?
Well, think about it. It's dark, it's quiet, it's temperature controlled. It is designed to strip away the entire outside world in a modern life that is just filled with multitasking.
Checking phones, watching TV while you're cooking.
Right. The cinema is one of the last places that demands your total, undivided surrender.
George Orwell, the 1984 guy, he had a prediction about this, right?
He did. He predicted a world where screens were everywhere, which, I mean, he was right. We are surrounded. But he viewed that with horror. He thought it would isolate us.
But the movie theater does the opposite.
It offers a communal experience.
There's a great story in the source material about a screening of The Big Lebowski.
Yes, in London. It was an outdoor cinema. And it started to rain. And I'm not talking about a little drizzle. I mean a freezing torrential downpour.
And usually in that situation, people would just get up and leave.
But nobody left. 2,000 people stood there, soaked to the bone, shivering.
Laughing at the dude.
Yes, that's emotional contagion. When you are in a crowd, your emotions are amplified. You laugh louder because other people are laughing. You scream louder because others are screaming. It validates your humanity.
It's the difference between watching a comedy alone on your laptop and watching it in a packed theater.
Completely. The laptop version is content. The theater version is an event.
An event. That's a great way to put it. Now, let's go inside the mind of the viewer. The text talks about two main psychological processes going on: identification and idealization. How do we distinguish those two?
Okay, so identification is the anchor. It's when you look at the screen and you say, that's me.
I've been there.
I've been there. You see a character going through a breakup or failing a test or fighting with their parents, and you empathize because you've had that experience.
Yeah.
It grounds the movie in your reality.
And idealization.
Idealization is the escape. It's, I wish that were me.
Yeah.
It's seeing the spy drive the Aston Martin, or the wizard cast a spell, or the couple fall perfectly in love.
So we project ourselves into a better, stronger, more exciting version of existence.
That's it.
There is a classic film that illustrates this perfectly. Buster Keaton's Sherlock Jr. from 1924. If you haven't seen it, you have to. Buster Keaton is just the master of physical comedy.
He is the patron saint of film students. In Sherlock Jr., he plays a projectionist. He's just a regular guy. He's shy. He's clumsy, kind of a loser.
Right.
He's falsely accused of stealing a watch, and his girlfriend dumps him. He has zero power in his real life.
So he falls asleep in the projection booth.
And in a sequence that is, I mean, still technically mind-blowing today, his spirit leaves his body and walks right into the movie screen.
He literally steps into the film.
Yes. And the second he's inside the movie, he transforms. He isn't the clumsy projectionist anymore. He becomes Sherlock Jr., the world's greatest detective.
Suave, hyper-competent.
He solves the crime, he saves the girl. That is pure idealization. He is dreaming of the version of himself he wishes he could be.
But the ending is where it gets really meta. He wakes up.
He wakes up back in the booth. His real girlfriend comes in to apologize. She figured out the mystery, not him. But he's still awkward. He doesn't know how to initiate the romance, so what does he do?
He looks out the little window at the movie that's still playing on the screen.
And he uses the movie as an instruction manual. The actor on screen holds the girl's hand. Keaton holds his girlfriend's hand. The actor kisses the girl. Keaton kisses his girlfriend.
That's hilarious, but it's also making a really profound point.
It is. We use movies to model our lives. We learn how to kiss, how to fight, how to grieve by mimicking what we see on screen.
Which connects pretty directly to a much more recent blockbuster, The Matrix.
It's the exact same narrative arc, really. Neo is Mr. Anderson, a bored, powerless office drone.
Right.
He enters the Matrix, the simulation, and becomes the one. He can fly, he can stop bullets.
I know Kung Fu.
It is the ultimate power fantasy.
But The Matrix is sneaky. It's a blockbuster that's also kind of a warning about blockbusters.
It's a Trojan horse. It gives you all the spectacle you want, the leather coats, the guns, the wire fu. But the underlying message is a philosophical question about reality.
You mean Cypher, the traitor?
Exactly. Cypher, the traitor in the movie, chooses to go back into the simulation. He wants to eat the fake steak because it tastes good. He prefers the lie.
Ignorance is bliss.
And the movie's asking the audience, are you like Cypher? Or are you just here for the fake steak? It challenges the very escapism it's providing.
That brings us to a really interesting category of films. We've talked about movies that are fun and escapist, but sometimes you sit down to watch a movie for class or an art house film and it feels like it's fighting you.
The text calls this difficult entertainment.
Or narrative frustration.
Yes. We are trained by Hollywood to expect certain things. We expect a hero we can like. We expect a clear villain. We expect a motive. We expect a neat, tidy ending. Closure. And some filmmakers deliberately break those rules to force you to wake up.
But why would a director want to frustrate the audience?
Because frustration breeds analysis. If I give you exactly what you want, all sugar, fat, and salt, you consume it, you forget it. If I give you something difficult to chew, you have to think about the texture. You have to work for the meaning.
Let's look at the case study of Vengeance is Mine, the Japanese film by Shohei Imamura. This is a serial killer movie.
Right. Based on the true story of Iwao Inokizu. Now think about a standard American crime show like Criminal Minds. What's the structure?
We see the crime, we hunt the killer, and then crucially, we find out why he did it.
The flashback explanation.
Yeah, maybe his mom was mean to him, maybe he had a traumatic brain injury. We want the diagnosis. We want to label him crazy so we can feel safe.
Exactly. Diagnosis is a comfort. Imamura denies us that comfort. We spend 2 hours with this killer. We see his crimes in a brutal, unflinching detail, but we never get the flashback.
We never get the aha moment.
Never.
Even the title is ironic.
Vengeance is mine. It's from the Bible. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. But the killer isn't religious. He isn't avenging some specific wrong. He just kills.
So what's the effect of that?
By denying us the motive, the film forces the audience to confront a truly terrifying reality. Evil might not have a reason, it might just exist. And that is a much harder truth to swallow than a neat Hollywood backstory.
Another huge example of difficult cinema is 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah. I think this is the ultimate love it or hate it movie.
It tests your patience, and it does so intentionally. The opening sequence, The Dawn of Man, is 20 minutes of actors in ape suits grunting at a big black monolith. There is no dialogue.
And when we finally get to space, it's not Star Wars, it's not fast and exciting.
It's bureaucratic, it's slow. Kubrick wants you to feel the vastness and, frankly, the boredom of space travel. There's a famous detail everyone points to, the zero-gravity toilet.
Right.
The camera just lingers on a sign with 10 paragraphs of instructions on how to use the toilet.
Why? Why do we need to read toilet instructions in a sci-fi epic?
Because Kubrick is grounding the fantasy in the mundane. He's saying, you think space is this cool, grand adventure. Space is mostly complicated plumbing.
And look at the climax. The astronaut Dave is locked out of the ship by the computer, HAL.
The famous scene, open the pod bay doors, HAL.
And HAL says, I'm afraid I can't do that, Dave.
And it plays out like a customer service nightmare.
It does.
It's not a monster roaring. It's a calm, polite voice refusing to help you. It is terrifying because it is so banal.
One more example of a film that really confronts the viewer, Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing.
A masterpiece. This film does not want you to escape. It wants you to sweat.
Literally.
Literally. It is set on the hottest day of the summer in Brooklyn, and Spike Lee uses every single tool in the box to make you feel that heat.
The colors are so intense. The bright reds, the oranges, the yellows.
It feels claustrophobic, and he uses these aggressive camera angles. He uses Dutch angles, tilted frames to create a sense of imbalance and tension.
And the close-ups.
He uses wide-angle lenses right up in the actors' faces, so they distort and they loom over the camera, over you.
Characters like Radio Raheem or Buggin' Out, they look right into the lens. They break the fourth wall.
They are shouting at the audience. Spike Lee is refusing to let you be a passive voyeur. He is dragging you into this argument about race and gentrification.
And he doesn't give you an easy answer.
No, he refuses to give you a binary answer. No one is purely good. No one is purely bad. It is a complex, messy human tragedy.
Which leads us perfectly into the toolkit. We've been throwing around terms like Dutch angle and saturation. This is the part of the course where we need to formalize that language.
Right.
We need to distinguish between form and style.
Think of it like construction. Form is your toolbox. It includes narrative, cinematography, sound, editing, acting, design. Every director has access to these same tools.
Okay, so that's form. And style.
Style is how you use the tools. Do you use the hammer to build a delicate birdhouse, or do you use it to smash a wall? Do you use the camera to create a smooth, glossy image, or a shaky, gritty one?
Let's apply this to a specific scene. The text focuses on The 400 Blows by Francois Truffaut. This is a huge film for the French New Wave.
This film changed everything in 1959. Before this, French cinema was very stuffy. They called it the tradition of quality. Big sets, period costumes, very theatrical, very literary. Truffaut and his friends were critics who hated that. They wanted something raw, something real.
So, The 400 Blows is about a troubled kid, Antoine. And we're going to look at the jailhouse scene. He's just been caught stealing a typewriter.
Okay, now before we describe it, imagine a Hollywood melodrama version of this scene.
Right. It would be dark, moody shadows. The kid, Antoine, would be weeping dramatically. The music would be swelling sad violins to make sure we cry on cue.
Exactly. It would dictate your emotions. Truffaut chooses a realistic style. The lighting is flat and ugly, like a fluorescent office light. The camera just pans around the room.
It's not focusing on him.
No. We see a prostitute arguing with a cop. We see a drunk sleeping on a bench. We see peeling paint on the walls.
It feels boring. It feels indifferent.
And that is the point. To the police, Antoine isn't a tragic figure. He's just paperwork. He's just another kid to process. The indifference of the world is what makes it so heartbreaking.
What about the sound design?
No dramatic speeches. It's just footsteps, keys jingling, doors slamming. But there is a little piano melody.
I remember that.
It sounds like a child practicing scales. A bit clumsy, a bit repetitive. And that audio choice is brilliant because it reminds us that despite being in this gritty adult jail, Antoine is still just a little boy.
The experts also point out a visual motif, looking through things.
Yes. Throughout the entire film, the camera shoots Antoine through obstacles, through the wire mesh of a fence, through the bars of the cell, through the back window of the police van.
It creates a visual theme of entrapment.
He goes from a cramped apartment to a cramped classroom to a cramped cell. The form is the content.
And we should mention, this whole new wave style wasn't just an artistic choice, it was also economic.
That's a crucial piece of context. Truffaut didn't have a big Hollywood budget. He couldn't afford to build a fake jail set.
So he had to shoot on location.
He had to. He couldn't afford big fancy lights, so he used faster film stock that looked grainier, more real. Necessity becomes the mother of style. They turned their lack of money into an aesthetic that felt more authentic than the expensive studio movies.
That is so encouraging for student filmmakers. You don't need $1 million. You just need a point of view.
That's it, exactly.
All right, we are in the home stretch now. We want to do a live analysis with you. This is where we take all these concepts and apply them to a single frame of film.
And we're going to look at Citizen Kane.
Orson Welles, 1941. If you study film, all roads eventually lead to Kane.
They do.
So visualize this with us. Charles Foster Kane is running for governor. He is at a massive political rally. He is on stage giving this thunderous speech. The crowd is going wild for him.
But the camera isn't on the stage with him. The camera is placed way up high, in the rafters, in a private box.
Oh.
And standing in the foreground, in the dark, is his political rival, Jim Geddes.
Okay, so let's break down the composition of that shot.
Geddes is wearing a dark suit. He is shot from behind, so he's basically just a silhouette. He takes up almost half the screen on the left side. He is looming over the image.
And where is Kane in all this?
Kane is way, way in the background, down on the brightly lit stage. And because of the perspective, he looks tiny. He's just a little white speck waving his arms.
Now, usually in a shot like that, if you have someone close and someone far away, the focus would be on one or the other.
But Welles and his cinematographer, Greg Toland, famously used deep focus. They kept everything sharp. From the fabric of Geddes' jacket in the foreground to the face of Kane hundreds of feet away.
Why? What's the point of that technical trick?
It forces us, the audience, to see the relationship between these two men simultaneously. If you just listen to the audio, you would think Kane is winning. He's loud, he's popular, the crowd loves him.
But the visual tells a completely different story.
The visual tells us that Geddes is the predator and Kane is the prey. Geddes looking down on him. He's the puppet master. The composition tells us that Kane is small, vulnerable, and about to be crushed.
And sure enough, just a few scenes later, Geddes reveals the scandal that destroys Kane's career.
The camera told the truth before the script did.
That is the X-ray vision we talked about at the beginning.
That is the essence of film analysis. It's understanding that the director is telling you a story with the lens that is sometimes different from, or even deeper than, the story the characters are telling with their mouths.
So what does this all mean for you, the student of COM 109, and for anyone else listening?
It means that as you watch Casablanca this week, you have a job to do. Don't just let the movie wash over you like a warm bath.
Be an active viewer. Watch the lighting. Watch the background of the shots. Ask yourself, why is the camera high or low right now? Why did they cut at that exact moment?
Shift your whole perspective from, did I like it, to, how does it work?
Yep.
It is the difference between eating a great meal and understanding the recipe.
Both are enjoyable.
Both are enjoyable, but the second one gives you a skill you can use for the rest of your life.
Before we go, we want to leave you with a final provocation, a little homework assignment, but the fun kind.
Pick a scene from a movie you absolutely love. Maybe it's a scene you've seen 100 times. Put it on, but turn the sound off.
Completely off. No dialogue, no music, no sound effects.
And watch it strictly as a visual experience. Look at the editing rhythms. Look at the spacing between the characters in the frame. Who dominates the frame? Who looks small?
You will be amazed at how much story is being told purely through form. You might find you understand that movie even better in silence than you ever did with the sound on.
And remember, in a world of information overload, these critical thinking skills apply to everything. Not just movies, but the news, commercials, TikToks.
Everything on a screen is a construction.
It is. And it's your job to take it apart and see how it works.
Well said. Enjoy Casablanca, everyone.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.